Okay, here we are with part 2 of the FC3 Plus review that's available at gamegavel.com. We're going to look at some of the software that you can use on this and what combinations you can use, lock-on cartridges, game genies, and whatnot. So let's get started. We're going to start out here with a Super Game Boy. Power it on real quick. Grab a controller. And as you can see, the Super Game Boy works fine. Now I'm trying to play this with one hand, so obviously it's not going to work too well. But as you can see, the Super Game Boy works fine. Next up on the Genesis side now, we're going to try a Game Genie with a Japanese import game, Dangerous Seed. Game Genie screen comes up fine, bypass it. And Dangerous Seed's booting up fine, alright. Now, we all know the old trick of booting a Game Genie with an import game on a Genesis to get it to run. But will this bad boy manage to play the import game by itself? Well, there you see Dangerous Seed in there by itself. And the game's booting up nicely. So far it's looking really good for this thing software-wise. Tons of compatibility. Let's check out some more. Next up, we'll be checking out Sonic & Knuckles with Sonic 3 lock-on technology. And we see the initial boot up fine. However, you're also seeing it's only generic Sonic & Knuckles, no Sonic 3 on here. This is a problem that the Gen Mobile has too. However, the Game Genie also don't work with the Gen Mobile. We're going to try this one more time. I'm going to reseat the game, see how it turns out. Alright, we've reseated it again. And there's our Sonic 3 and Knuckles. It does work. However, it does seem to be a little touchy. However, it does work if you mess with it a little bit. And now for the real test. Virtua Racing for Sega Genesis. This game does have troubles working on any clone. It don't even work if you have a regular 32X put in. It only works in like a stock Genesis or Genesis Sega CD combo. Let's see what happens. And nothing. I'm afraid Virtua Racing is not compatible. Now real quick on the regular Nintendo, we're first going to test out the Game Genie. Screen pops up fine. Game pops up fine. Game Genie is fully compatible. Now let's give it a real test. Hold on a second. Here's one that can be kind of problematic. It's Action 52. We'll see what happens here. We'll select our game. We'll select our game. There we go. And nothing. Your game selection screen works, but if you try to actually select a game, the game does lock up. Let's try one more for regular Nintendo real quick. Finally, a game that gives a lot of NES clones trouble. We're going to go with Castlevania 3. Power it on real quick. And green screen! It's weird. It could be incompatible, or we might just need to clean the cartridge. So let's clean the game, test it out in a regular Nintendo, see what happens. Alright, I've cleaned the game out. I did go in my other game room and plug it into my regular Nintendo to test it out. So we'll power it on again. It does work on my standard NES. Green screen again! Alright. Castlevania 3, due to the special chips that are used in the game, is also not compatible. Finally, let's try two more. Here's a hard one on systems. Let's try Mario RPG. I'm not sure you can hear it. There's a tiny squeal coming out from the television speakers, but the game isn't working. Now, keep in mind the version of Mario RPG I have is the US version 1.1. However, there have been reports that the US version 1.0 does indeed work on the FC3. However, I can only test what I own.